What is going on, Governor? Chisgule here, and today we're back with more KVK action. Past level 4, boom, we smashed it. You saw my previous video where we showed the first hour after we beat the pass. This is the next hour where it is open field madness, flag and fort building madness. If you like KVK videos, you should definitely like and subscribe because that's going to be something we put a lot of time and attention into, and we are a sponsored creator in Rise of Kingdoms. Now, what you're watching here is open field battling. We thought maybe we could slow down the flag building by OV if we could kill the people that were on their way into the flag. That's an impossible task. Fool's errand. We talked about this in the last video. Forget it. It's not going to work. They've also got the flag building buff going, so they are boom, 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 putting out those flags at a pace that, like, look, you just can't keep up. And you can see our hospitals filling up mighty quickly, all things considered. I don't know if at this point we've got double hospital capacity or not, but we need to start healing down that hospital cap pretty darn quickly. Now, at this point, it's like, I don't know. Let me look at the clock. Oh, gosh. It would be 4 in the morning? Approaching 5 in the morning? Something like that? Ugh. Anyways, yeah, okay, it's approaching 4 in the morning at the time that this video was filmed, at least in the United States. Uh, and yeah, this fort's about to get rallied. And this is why I think most fort building is a fool's errand, because in this land grab, it's just so darn easy to take out a fort. One successful rally and you've got it. OV, because of the design of the map, they're so gosh darn close to the pass, which is where we put our fort for L2, which is one of our family alliances. I mean, all of Kingdom 51 is family, but whatever. So they just built their flags over and went right to the fort, and they're going to rally it, and the fort's going to get wrecked. In hindsight, we should have just destroyed the fort so that no one from our side would take deaths. Um, and you can see also there's a lot of enemy forts popping up on the other side of the map. We were focused on defending our own fort. If we hadn't been thinking about building a fort at all, which it turns out in hindsight we shouldn't have, we could have built our flags all the way over to those 3 forts. Boom, 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 rallied, took them all out, easy peasy. And yeah, KVK would have been a very, very, very different ball game if for no other reason than the moral victory of taking out a fort is real. It's super real. Don't discount the value of moral victories and moral defeats, because what you're about to watch here is a minor moral defeat. This fort getting rallied. We see El Cid as the captain, probably Isong Ye as the secondary, but it almost doesn't even matter because we can't reinforce it and they've got it surrounded. And you can see my troops are all dead and marching back home. I mean, it's going to take like 20 minutes just to get back home, so forget it. Not a thing. Not a thing. So now is the point at which I'm still dazed and confused. It's early in the morning, but we take a step back and we say, what the heck are we actually doing here? What are we doing here? We see the Faceless Fort is being built. We see DFH's fort is being built. And that whole part of the map now is a thing that we have to ignore. Now, you're watching this video, by the way, at 4x speed. That's right, 4x speed. So over the course of 17 minutes, you're going to see, like an hour and 15-ish minutes of content here, real time that elapses. And now we've got to rethink our strategy. We've got to rethink our strategy. We're doing a lot of talking in Discord to figure out what the heck are we supposed to do. We decide that we're going to support the destruction of the OV fort. And we've got time to accomplish that. We've got some time to accomplish that. We're not going to see whether or not that happens in this particular video, but that is something that we've got the footage from, and we could build flags down to that fort. The other thing we could do is build flags over to the trio of forts up to the left over there, which is the thing I think we probably should have done. By the way, in hindsight, our initial land strategy was to give Legion access to both passes. This is a terrible mistake. Terrible mistake. Easy to see in hindsight. Wouldn't have known it in advance. I mean, I had a chance to review the strategy. It didn't occur to me that, like, you really need different alliances to own each of these different passes. There's just no value whatsoever to owning both of them, but whatever. So now you're going to start to see some combat near where our allies are. Endgame, which is all the way up to the north. Now you can see here Faceless, they're building their fort, but they're starting to get surrounded, I believe, by OV players. They're going to rush over there after they take out this LN2 fort. And now I think we're going to zoom in and get a look up there at some fort action. DT builds a fort, and boom, here we go. Rend is rallying our allies' end. They couldn't have picked better acronyms, better short four-letter descriptions to make it easier to know who's who, but whatever. We've got End, we've got Rend, don't get them confused. Bujan is here, Punisher is here, they're on the front lines, open field mayhem. Rally is getting wrecked at the moment. We see Richard captaining the defense, which is awesome. Great choice for a flag defense. Don't use garrison talents, though. Those are not going to work at a flag. Now, we get a look in on this action. We, at this point, are surveying the battlefield, talking with the team to figure out what the heck are we going to do. You may have noticed, by the way, there's an NL fort placed in a rogue location. Would have been nice if that fort was put in a more strategic location, but it's not going to matter at the end of the day, really, at all, so it's fine. I think it would have been much nicer to have that NL fort more forward, where it could have been in on the action. That meant they would have been more vulnerable as well, though, and they could not have built flags toward that fort to protect it. They had no way of doing that because they only had one fort available, which is a huge mistake. If you enter into KVK with only the capability of one free fort without messing up your original kingdom land distribution, I mean, you may want to think about just messing up your land distribution in the original kingdom to have the two forts. You should just do it because you need the two forts. You can't even play the game here without the two forts. Just go home, pack it in. You're not a player. You need two forts. Okay, was I clear about that? Two forts, you need them. Now, there's some combat going on over here. We sent Seamog over from Legion to Endgame, and he's in this alliance, wrecking stuff, doing work. You're going to see in a moment Mojo from Legion will be in Endgame helping out. You'll see in a moment Death Squad from Legion will be in Endgame helping out. I mean, there's haters all over the place, right? But some haters were like, oh, Legion never helped their allies. And there's so much footage that I have of that, but, you know, whatever. Haters are just going to hate. Then they're going to call out the things they don't see. But what we're going to see now is, boom, there's Death Squad at the front. Death Squad was between pretty much every single alliance in Kingdom 51 helping out. And, I mean, dude loves to get kills. I mean, I assume it's a dude. I don't know. Death Squad really likes to get kills. So Death Squad's doing what Death Squad does best, which is at the front, getting kills, doing work. There it is. Rally in with Caesar and some secondary, can't tell, into Richard. We're taking a look at our alliance members now. Bada boom. T5's on the front line here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I count 5 on screen from End and Legion, all in the Endgame alliance at the moment. Battling out in the open field. Now, the open field is a weird place to be battling. I think that's honestly kind of a major waste of resources. Boom! There's Mojo up at the front. I think it's a waste of resources to be battling in the open field, especially if you're not the one with the T5s. I don't know. Looks like that defense is going pretty well. We survey our commanders real quick to see, like, gosh, who are we going to be using to command a defense here? If we got to go defend a flag, should we teleport over and help? But I think they got great commanders over there, so that's not something we're too worried about at that moment. And they can focus on this one flag, which is good. Now, when we talk about where open field combat is good, I think that if you can prevent reinforcements from getting to a rally, then yeah, open field combat could be like a pretty good thing to do. If what you're doing is stopping reinforcements from getting to a rally or to an objective that an opponent's trying to defend, then the open field combat makes sense. I don't know if that's really what's happening here. This just looks like mayhem. This just looks like absolute, total freaking mayhem. At some point, we decide, like, boom, we need to level up our Isong Ye, even though we prefer to kill barbarians with him because he's expertise, so when he does his AoE, it pulls in all the barbarians around him. Whatever, we abandon that. And you can see here this rally's getting pretty low, although Rend really kind of owns the field there. But now Ooh, what was that combat? Okay, so 4x speed might be a little too fast. I don't know. We have 80 gigs of footage, so we got to go 4x speed if we're going to get through all of it, quite frankly. So we've got combat up top. We've got combat by the OV fort. We're sending some armies to support because I think we're going to finish our build before them, or we're going to build some flags to rally the darn thing. Um, and whoo, that open field combat is nuts. Rally defeated. Flag is not even burning. That calculus will certainly change, but whatever. Whatever. Tons of conversations going on. We gotta look at one of these reports. You could pause the video if you want to see what happened there. In fact, we'll probably pause it. There's another flag defense. Pretty successful defense. 314k dead for the defender, 400k plus dead for the attacker, plus all these folks that died when they were trying to swarm the darn thing. Yeah, that worked out pretty well. I mean, look, like defense is the preferred position. You have a 50% of your severely injured die when you're defending a flag, whereas the attacker has 100% of severely injured die when they're on that assault. More open field craziness. I'm sure Death Squad, Punisher, and Bujan enjoyed messing around in the open field over there. And we need to deploy ourselves to the battle, which is a thing we're going to do pretty soon. The question is where and what? Where and what? Because 3 forts are being built on the left-hand side of the map. We really should build some flags over there to both relieve endgame and take out the forts. At the same time, we really should head down to OV and focus them down, because between Kingdom 50 and 52, 52 is the weaker kingdom, no offense, but like 50 is stronger. And so it would have been wise, I think, in hindsight, to basically ignore Kingdom 52, to ignore Kingdom 50, to have even not sent Endgame out on that mission. We should have probably focused every single thing we could have on Kingdom 52 to try to evict them from the zone, instead of splitting our attention, which was honestly a mistake. It was honestly a mistake. We should have given and completely forfeited the top side of the map in order to just be a wrecking ball down south. We thought with the alliances we had that was a thing that we could accomplish, but I think maybe with better organization we could have done that, but we didn't. We did not. So we do build our flags over to our fort, which is awesome. LN2 builds another fort off in that safe location, safe-ish, I guess, location. So that we've got now 2 forts by the pass, so we're thinking probably we've locked in our ability to get into the next zone. Again, this was a mistake. It turns out that what will happen in this zone is so much blood will be shed that one side or the other will lose the will to lose more troops. And when that happens, it's not going to matter if it's a fort or a flag. It's just going to be a structure that dies. It's just going to be a structure that dies. So you can see here, SPE is a fort belonging to an alliance that is an enemy of ours. OV is an alliance that is an enemy of ours. Faceless and DFH and VYG, those are allies of Kingdom 51. There's another good shot of that part of the map at that moment in time. The VYG fort is in sort of the safest location, which is a good thing. But we got to make a decision. What would you do in our shoes? Would you go for the forts off to the left, which now have flags going toward them because we waited too darn long to make that decision? I mean, look, you see all those flags we built to our fort? If we had gone to their forts, we could have destroyed all those forts before they could have done anything about it. Instead, they got all these flags heading over so they can protect them now. So we sort of missed our window to actually take out those forts, which is kind of tragic. What would you do? Focus down 52? Go for the forts to the left? I don't know. This part of the battlefield up north with Endgame was totally insane. We're going to spend a lot of time on the front lines of that battlefield in the coming days. Whew, a lot of time. Okay. Yeah. You can see now we decide we're going to build down south toward the OV fort. And we don't have the flag building buff anymore. So we can't fort hunt in the way that we could have before. And even without the speed buff, we still are going to have enough flags and enough time to go take out the OV fort if we want to. And I'm not going to spoil what happens, but that's what we start to do at this point, is we start to build our flags down toward that OV fort with the intention of going to take it out. That's what we're intending. At this point, you can see CIAF and Rend, they've built forts in front of their pass. Honestly, mistake, wasn't needed, waste of effort, total waste of effort. You do not need forts by the passes if you're going to engage in a bloodbath. Not relevant. You can see here, unfortunately, our allies' fort in Faceless is getting taken down, and it's completely surrounded by OV. They built flags over and have rallied it, I believe. I believe it's SPE that's built the flags over. Yeah. Checking out what's going on at End. That's pretty tame. And overall, this first part of KVK is going okay, but not great. Okay, but not great. We rally our allies to go defend the VIG fort. I don't know. What do you think our strategy should have been entering into the zone? Where should we have placed our alliance, and how would you have done it differently? Definitely let me know down in the comments. Again, this is just the beginning, and it gets way more bloody and way more crazy. I've got over 70, I think, rallies and defenses that I participated in alone, where I was able to even favorite it because I get scouted so damn much that reports don't last in my inbox for more than 5 seconds. So often they just get lost. Let me know how you would have handled this. And if you're into rallies, then you should definitely like and subscribe, because we've got a ton of those coming, my friends. Oh, yes, we do. You can see here we're leading the flag building. I don't know. I feel like KVK was probably winnable in this zone for us with the right approach. June is running all over the place, trolling folks. I feel like KVK was winnable for us, but our approach was not amazing. In hindsight, easier to see. The question will be sort of what next? What next, indeed. All right, my friends, if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and until next time, you have fun smashing the kingdom.